Hey guys, I'm back again with a friend of mine, Elizabeth Grace Marty, and another episode of Get to Know Mo. And I was just talking with Elizabeth before we got started that I'm really excited for you guys to hear her perspective as an owner and a real estate agent, especially because I was just telling her my first actual client is an agent, not an admin. And Elizabeth and I have known each other for, has it been like 5 years now?
I think so. It was like right when you started your class, your perspective class.
Oh, then that's like 7 years.
Yeah, it could have been that long.
Okay, because I remember walking up to you in class, and I think it was Jesse's class. We were down there
Yeah.
to teach, and I like introduced myself, and we just got chatting right away. So,
Yeah.
and then on and off over the years, I've gone back to Reno to teach again, and we've just always stayed in contact and swapped referrals. And so, thank you for doing this, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what kind of questions you have for me, and what anybody else has that's watching too. So, as you guys have questions that pop up, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll catch them. But Elizabeth, why don't you say a little bit about yourself and your business?
Okay. I'm Elizabeth Marty. I'm an agent in Reno, Nevada. I had a big team and I just downsized because I have a baby. I actually shut my office down 1 week before COVID hit. So it was a gigantic change all at one time, a little unexpected. But like everybody else, I've just been working at home and I'm so excited to talk to you about it because it really is such a mindset shift, mind shift for people to get used to working at home. And I actually found that it's improved my business. So I'm really excited to hear about it from you. But I've owned my real estate team. I've had a team for 3 years, been an agent for 5, and we focus on obviously sales, but we focus a lot on return on investment design. So we help sellers maximize their profit by doing a few key renovations or help buyers, move into their dream home that was not their dream home when they bought it. So that's what I love about real estate. But I want to hear about you, not about me.
Okay. What do you want to know first?
Okay. So I have like 3 burning questions because even though we're friends, I know that you need like space when you're, starting your thing.
God, you're
I have
so
3.
considerate. God.
Yes, I have 3 burning questions. Okay. Question number 1 is, how is it? I know you're like an energy space person. So how was it going from Command Central to duplex investment property at home? My fridge is 5 feet away. How is that?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have to say, like, there's definitely people that I miss seeing for sure. But you're right in that it's energetically, I have to feel good in my space. And I mean, I created this space to feel good in. And so I've adjusted my office so that I have more space. I'm in a different corner of the house, but I'm looking out at the Cascade Mountains. Like my balcony is right there. And so it's almost like I rehabbed this house to do this.
That's so crazy because you rehabbed this house 3 years ago now?
Yeah. And now I'm thinking back to it. I'm thinking, oh, wow, because it's so spacious and airy. And I think the hardest part is probably going to be making sure that I separate work from other stuff. So like stepping away from my desk. But I also know that right now is this beginning period, like you said, where it's there's so much happening. I found myself not getting back to people right away. Like I have to prioritize how I respond to. And everything is brand new. I don't know how to do, I know how to do everything, but this is the first time doing it. So it's taking me, it reminds me that every time you start a new process or a new system or something new in your business, you got to learn it first and go through it. So.
Well, and giving yourself grace. I know that you're a big doer. So is that hard for you to not yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're like itching.
I like to get things done. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was kind of my other question is how, I know this is a positive change for you, but what are some differences that you're seeing, and how you're operating? Like, are you finding yourself to be more like creative, more free? How has this kind of helped you develop yourself too?
Yeah, good question. I think what I've noticed the most from the moment I made the decision to now is that I can feel like this next evolution of myself happening. So there's definitely a new sense of freedom, a new sense of flow, and definitely much more to not, I was focusing in so many different areas It was not just Pickett Street business. It was Pickett Street, finally clicked the podcast, trying to start coaching, trying to do the retreat, all these different things. And now I get to just focus on my business. And
Wow.
it's like, I don't even know what I'm really capable of yet. I was just telling somebody this yesterday that I've never full-time coached anyone outside of the admin that have been on Pickett Street. And so I'm not really sure like what I'm capable of when I'm focusing all of my attention on someone and on their business and not on anything else. So,
well, and maybe like what people expect from you, is it kind of different now that you're like putting it all together?
Yes. Yeah. I think people, like, I mean, you and I were talking about this right before, like, real estate agents and, oh my God, is the baby going to join us?
Yeah. Sorry. She was sound asleep. She was sound asleep.
So.
Hi, mini Elizabeth. Here we are. She has to join the conversation.
It's totally okay.
She was a born talker. So,
I love her face so much.
Oh yeah, she's a goofball. Look at her. She's like, what is this video? So you developed this coaching program, you know, through coaching other agents, and like, what do you hope to get out of it?
Good question. I think the biggest thing is for me to really fully understand what I'm capable of. Because I think we all go through times where we doubt ourselves, and definitely I've had that. I've always known that I'm capable of more. And I think to fully realize that is only going to help my clients that much more. And so, and also one of my like secret sauces is networking. And so I'm super excited to connect all these different people that I've wanted to collaborate with. So not just my clients, with people in my network, but also all these people that are working to better the real estate industry. They're all like, I know different coaches and vendors across the US that I'm really looking forward to working with and creating some sort of a collaboration. So yeah, I think when I'm talking to people and I'm doing these exploratory calls, you asked like, I think they don't even know what to expect. And so they see my website and they see what I've done and they're like, oh, I didn't really realize all these different things you were doing.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to have these conversations with them and just say like, okay, tell me about yourself. What are you looking for? What do you need? All right, here's what I can do for you. And it's just, I've always been very straightforward and to the point, because one of the things I disliked about school when I was in school was that I felt like so many of the articles and things we had to read, especially for social work, were just like pages and pages and pages long, when what you needed to say could be said in a paragraph. And so
that's one of my favorite podcast episodes that you and Jesse did. Is like, yeah, okay, get on with it. Like, where's the little excerpt for this book? Like, why do we have to go on and on and on?
Yeah.
So these coaching calls, I had one girlfriend reach out to you already, because you're amazing and everyone who talks to me knows that. But without giving away, you know, why they need to call you, what makes you different than, you know, I don't want to name drop, but those like big name coaches, you know, some Keller Williams agents are familiar with MAPS or, you know, other names in the business. What makes Margaret different, and why should they call you? You know, what should they call you looking for?
It's a good question. I think the number one reason I would say is that you don't know what you don't know. And so like we always say with real estate, I always tell our clients when I was on Pickett Street to interview multiple agents. And so it's the same thing with coaches, is you got to find the right fit for you. And for me, I am very open about the fact that I've been investigating my intuitive side. So talking about intuition, talking about the things you can't see, talking about how an energy, what it feels like in your office space, in your home, all of that affects your energy flow, which then affects your business and your personal life. And so I'm going to go into the gray areas where people don't normally go.
Yeah.
And I won't know all the answers, but what I can promise you is that I have a never-ending curiosity, and that curiosity carries me through everything. I am relentless. So I will go until I figure it out. And so that's, I think one of the pieces about me that's like different is that I have this ad background, but I also really understand the ownership standpoint and the perspective of a real estate agent. So you get both.
Well, and that's so important because I feel like a lot of agents, when they hire an admin, want them to be a Margaret, right? Like they want you to be this superstar that can handle all of this stuff from, you know, talking to people, to marketing, to
Yes.
systems.
Yeah.
And really, if you were to go to any other job, those are all different departments with different specialists,
Yes.
with a cache of specialists,
Yes.
not even just one person. So then when you get into real estate, you're like, oh, I'm going to build this gigantic empire, and I'm going to need you to build it all for me. That's a huge task. And I
Oh
know
my
a lot of
God, you basically
agents.
just quoted what I always tell people. That was amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I only know that from, you know, it's funny because it's like agents don't have the perspective, right? When they first start, they tell us, you know, 80% of you will fail. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you feel like you have a fire hose to your face, learning how to do the listing presentation and sign clients and market a property and do all of this stuff. Yet when you think about the overall, the job of an agent is actually pretty finite, right? You know, it's the client and property centric. But then when you talk about your job, it's like unlimited what you could ask an admin to do.
Mhm.
So I love that you started this because it's almost like they're the forgotten. Sorry, she really, really, really wants to talk.
That's good. That's okay. I like it.
It's almost like the admin are like the forgotten people, except they're literally the foundation of all of it. And so when I saw that you started this, I got so excited. And I know this has been a mission of yours for so, so long.
Yeah.
But now that you've stepped out of the, like, your focus of admin, how's your perspective also now being an owner of your own business? Like, do you see even more? Like, how's that been for you?
You know, I think it's been interesting. I don't think I fully understand yet
Yeah.
what it's like because I take such extreme ownership that I mean, I felt like an owner at Pickett Street.
Sure.
Technically, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is I'll be sitting here and I'll be like, okay, I guess I better talk to the CEO. Well, Margaret, what do you want to do? What do you want to do today? Should we make, okay, how about we make some business cards? Like it's super easy. And I think I'm just stuck. I'm stuck in this really great place right now where it's just so much fun and it feels so right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels so right. And it feels like I've been doing it for a while already. It's just now I mean, I have lots of people that I can ask questions to and ask for help, which is enormous. But it doesn't feel too different yet. I think the different will come. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like lonely yet, trying to, you know, bounce ideas and wanting to chit chat and like brainstorm with someone, and then you realize you have to do it all in your own head?
No, not yet, because
Not yet.
again, I flex between being an introvert and an extrovert, and then I have this
Sure.
fantastic group of people that own businesses around the U.S. that are more admin focused, and so I've been meeting like once a week with Kathleen Metcalf, who's owner of Metcalf Coaching, and then I have this huge group of admin here in the PNW who are like, "What can we do to help you? Do you need
Yeah.
next? Should we get out the Post-its and like fill up your walls?" Like, I just have people coming out of the woodwork to help, so I don't feel lonely at all. I feel actually
Good.
like two of my friends have offered to float me financially if I need to for a month. Like,
You have
because
the best friends, Margaret. You really do.
I know, I'm so blessed. It was like I did, and that's the other thing that I want to tell that story too. And I don't need to tell it now, but I did not jump the ship with like 6 months of savings. I had enough money to get me through mid-September, and that's it.
Wow.
So really, when I left, I knew I had to be very disciplined and very purposeful about what I was doing with my time. Yeah.
But also, I mean, that's one of the things that I love about you is not just your network, but you attract these like hype people to you, these cheerleaders, even though you're like the main cheerleader yourself. But that's so important when someone's going to look for you as a coach, because I think a lot of times people just need to get out of their own way, you know?
Yes.
Like, they don't, it's not that they need a new system or a new, you know, client management portal.
You're so right. Yeah.
They need the mindset that they can do it. And the fact that you have jumped into this endeavor all on your own, like, talk about the deep end of the pool, and then you're like, nah, it's cool. No, I'm good. Yeah, I got it. We're good. Like, that should speak volumes, because I think a lot of agents are in that same space as you, right? Like they don't have 6 months of savings. They need to get in and get business done, and they need to grow their teams. A lot of people start to struggle, and they don't realize they're struggling until they've only got a month or two left. And like, how do you jump and, you know, maximize that and to be coached by someone who's literally in their same shoes? I think that your empathy is such a strength. Anyone is so lucky to talk to you. I did want to share one of the stories about how you helped me, if that's okay.
Oh, please, yeah.
So you never even charged me for it, but hopefully you enjoy getting your hair done with Jared, because I was like, where's my invoice?
You gave me a gift. Like,
yeah, but you helped me so much, and I just wanted to say that because by the time we were done talking, I felt like it didn't matter what amount came across on that invoice. I was like, yes, take my money. It was so worth it. So the last time we talked, like business wise, I was teaming with one of my favorite lenders, and we were like, okay, how are we going to do a great lead generation system without paying for leads, being organic, being authentic? You know, how can we be really true to ourselves in this business? And what was so incredible about it is you mostly just listened. You just let us do the agent, talk your ear off. And once you gathered all of these random tangents that we had, it's like you put them together, and as soon as you started talking, it's like something smacks you over the head, like, duh, why didn't I think of that? Duh, why didn't I think of that? But the clarity was not there before. Before I was talking to you, it was all over the place. And then by the time we had like a 10-minute conversation, I knew exactly what I needed to do when I got off the phone. And then better than that, you said, great. And, you know, can you get this done by the middle of September? Can you get this done by, and I had never, ever in my life set goals like that for myself. So it wasn't even just that you gave us clarity. It was also, you know, can you set this specific deadline? And I put it on my calendar, and it was almost like if I didn't get it done, then I would have to maybe run into you in a DM later on and explain to you why I didn't get it done. Not in a bad way, but like, why would I want to let you down? Like, you just gave me so much clarity. It was so amazing. Like, I'm going to do this. And I just think it's really important for anyone to hear that's thinking about hiring you, because I think a lot of agents are afraid of hiring coaches because they're afraid of that accountability in a scary way. But the reality is, I didn't know what I didn't know until you started talking. And that was that I needed clarity, and I needed a set time to do it. And literally it was like effortless after we talked about it. And I'd never been coached like that before. I think we think of, you know, drill sergeants or, you know, our crazy militant soccer coach from middle school, you know, stuff like that. Like, we don't think about a coach as like an empathetic, like, friend that's been through the struggle and, you know, you can lean on. And so I just love that about you. So if anyone is thinking about it, that is my answer to why Margaret is different than these
I love that. And you
big
reminded me,
names.
like, I think when I was talking to you, and I've talked about this before with other people, the way my brain works is I'm looking at the pieces.
Right.
How do they fit together? And then I think about the consequences all the way down the line, which is how most admin think. And so, if I can take those pieces and put them into an order for you that makes sense, I think that is one of the skills that I can add for people. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference between an owner and an admin that you realized? You think it's thought process?
Biggest difference?
Mm-hmm. Like in terms of them being able to execute their job. So if one, you know, we have different skill sets, yes, but you know, what makes you such a good bridge?
That's a good question. I think probably communication. And so oftentimes what I've noticed, not just in the real estate world, but in the world in general, so much of the time we're actually saying the same thing. We're saying the same exact thing. We're just using different words, and we have different definitions in our head. So I could say something to you and you could interpret that completely not how I intend it. And I think oftentimes what happens is an agent says something to an admin, or admin says something to their agent, and it's misconstrued, and then they don't clarify, and it just gets worse and worse and worse until they do something different. Or projects don't get done, the business doesn't grow. And so oftentimes if you have someone just to step in and say, this is what I hear you saying, this is what I hear you saying, I think this works great. I think that's probably what the benefit I could add the most to that partnership.
No, that's amazing, because that is such a struggle when you've got a great admin, but then, 6 months down the line, they're like, so, and I'm leaving, here's my 2 weeks. You're like, whoa, how did that happen?
Yes.
And the turnover's so fast as it is, I know Jesse has said that, but for you to stay with Pickett Street for so long is, just unheard of in your role. So
yeah,
so amazing for you to be able to give that to people. How do you see that admin role? With Keller Williams specifically, we have command now, which takes a lot of that operation side of it away, that system side of it, and puts it in place. How do you see that admin role kind of evolving from that? What would you rather it focus on? Maybe that's a better question.
Rather it focus on. Yeah, I mean, so to be completely transparent, I did not move Pickett Street to command.
Yeah.
So we were using it like we use it in order to get paid. And so we were doing that.
She is so mad that she cannot be on the phone. She's not even 4 months old, Margaret, and she's already a realtor because she has not stopped talking to listen. She's just blah 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 blah.
Old yet?
No, she'll be 4 months at the beginning of September. She's just.
Oh yeah, well, you can leave her on camera if she likes it.
I don't know. She just wants to spit her packy out at you and say hi. Say hi, Margaret.
Oh my God. So
yeah.
So I didn't move them into command yet because our systems work. The systems that we had in place worked. And I'm a big believer in, I learned in those first 3 years there that there is no perfect system, and the one that works is it. So yeah, so I think the role of the admin is definitely changing, but not so much in terms of systems. I think it's changing in terms of how we view them and how we utilize them. I think we're already seeing a lot more admin like myself across the US specifically that are starting their own businesses.
Yeah.
Contract.
Yeah. Well, because you can, because once you figured it out, it's simple, but until then, which is such a gift for you to be able to give back what you've learned. I mean, you've spent so many years and time learning. Yeah. It's invaluable.
Yeah. I know, so many years classes and meeting people and talking to agents and admin from all over the place. So I have all of their information in my head. And I'm like, God, I've just got to get it out. There's too many good things.
What is one thing that you would want people to know if they're hesitant about reaching out? What is one thing you could say to them that would maybe make them more comfortable to take the leap and schedule a very non-committal, casual 30-minute conversation with you?
I think I would say, you don't know what you don't know. Again, so
yeah.
And I'm not a salesperson naturally. I sell what I believe in, and so I'm not. Like I said, I could talk to someone this morning, and I told that person, I said, I don't think you need to coach with me. I think you need a couple consultations, and we'll see if that helps get you started with your system implementation. But I don't need to sell anybody on anything. I want to work with people who want to work with me. And those people are going to go leaps and bounds beyond what they thought they would. They're going to be talking about things that they didn't realize they're going to be talking about, because it always happens that way. So I would just say, I think the thing that I've realized in life and in my journey is that I never let being hesitant or fearful at all stop me. It's just, and plus, when it's a free 30-minute call, I mean, the worst case scenario is we talk about our favorite food for half an hour or something,
which also sounds amazing. But can we just say that the very first person to hire you hired you for a very long period, much longer than, the typical 6 months or a year. And they did that unequivocally, hands down, no hesitations, because they talked to you for 30 minutes and saw the value. So that is incredible.
It blew my mind. Yeah, I'm super excited to work with him. And he even said, he was like, I think you could start a side hustle for just the waiting period between when I signed up with you and when I start coaching. He's like, things have happened in that time, just because he's excited to start. And it cracked me up. And it's And it is true. Like it's, I'm a big mindset person, and I do think like in those 30 minutes, even if you don't end up signing up with me for anything, I can't help but like pour into people. So you will get something from the 30-minute free call.
I know that to be true. How do you want me to ask you more casual questions for people to get to know you and not just sell your coaching? Okay, so I have to say that I'm a huge introvert. I do not like meeting new people. I am definitely one of those people that has enough friends. Like, don't even bother talking to me. I think I invented resting bee face. I'm pretty sure that I did.
Actually.
But something about you that I really love is how magnetic you are. So people can't help but notice you. And yes, you're very tall and you stand out in a crowd because you have this beautiful big smile, but also your energy just like draws people in. And I love, love, love that about you. So can you share a time where you were maybe like less confident? Because you seem so confident, which I think is what draws people to you. And you know, kind of how did you get to where you are?
That's a great question, because I try to remind people all the time that I was not born this way.
You're like that iceberg poster, you know, like success, and then under the water's like all the trial and tribulation, like down to the depths of the ocean.
I love that picture, actually. No, I'll give you a real quick, easy example. Like, so high school, I had so much social anxiety and so much fear of not knowing what was going to happen, and I was still like absolutely in that beginning stage of like trying to figure out who the heck I was. So I would stand up in front of class and I would sweat through my shirts, like all the way down, like, and just be so completely embarrassed. And so, and didn't know how to deal with it, didn't know what I could do to overcome that. And so that continued through high school and definitely through parts of college. And I think Christina Jaggles asked me something similar yesterday. The way that changed was by realizing, and I don't even know where this came from exactly, but I always take the most difficult path oftentimes. And I do that for a reason, because I realized early on that I learned the most by doing that. And then anytime I was afraid of something, I would turn straight into it and do it. And I don't give myself much time. So the deadlines I give other people are usually a little bit more lenient, but for myself, I'm like, no, Margaret, today. You don't want to call that person, you're calling them now. Because otherwise, I would get stuck in my head and I would get irrational stories going up there. And so when you start to do that and you get into the habit, then you get really addicted to the feeling after that. The feeling of like, oh, it's not so bad. I actually know how to do this. And when you do that so much faster, you get courage from that. And so I definitely, before I taught in Reno the last time, and before I teach or speak anywhere, the last 10 minutes before I go on, I usually can't eat for like 2 hours leading up. I feel like I'm gonna throw up for the first 10 minutes of any presentation. And I don't want that feeling to ever leave. Because I think that adrenaline and that rush is part of what I love about it, because I'm doing something that I don't know what the crowd's going to say to me. I don't know what's gonna come out my mouth exactly.
You could get up there and vomit all over yourself. Who even knows?
I've told the front row before, like, okay, just so you know, I'm feeling a little nauseous. I'll try to.
This is like a SeaWorld. This is a SeaWorld exhibit up here.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, I'm just so excited for you to not move on, because I know that your time at Pickett Street was so cherished. I actually had my admin leave, and so you know, she left right before you announced it.
Oh, wow.
And I think you gave her some like peace or closure about it, because like you and Jesse, her and I are still very close. And I think people just assume when you leave that it's, you know, negative or it was bad or you were burnt out, when really it's just the evolution of your person just doesn't fit that, you know, round peg doesn't fit in that square hole anymore. So you have to just kind of move on.
I totally agree. That's a topic I want to teach about or talk about, is how to gracefully exit, because change is inevitable. And one of the things I learned too is to embrace that and enjoy that. And it doesn't mean an end to friendships. It doesn't have to be at all.
But wouldn't it be such a different, amazing industry if every agent, actually even just a handful of agents, learned how to gracefully exit so many things, right? And admin too. If we could all just as humans learn how to gracefully exit periods of our life that don't serve us anymore, clients that don't serve us anymore, all of it.
Yeah. I know, even, you're right, having to let go of clients that, that's why I'm taking my time and finding people I want to work with, because I am going to pour so much into them. And I know that it's going to be more successful if we have the same kind of values. And so, yeah.
And personal goals too. I know that was something about our call that stuck with me, is you didn't ask me why I wanted to do the things I was talking to you about for my business. You asked why I wanted to do them personally, like what's your personal interest in doing them. And that I remember being like shooting back in my chair and being like, what are you talking about? I want to close more deals, Margaret. But it wasn't like the simplicity of closing the deals. It was, but why do you want to get more clients, and how will that impact your life, and all of these questions that make sense once you ask them. But I think when you're an owner, you focus so much on volume and numbers and hard statistics, and your admin is sitting there trying to help you achieve that, but they need to know the why, they behind it. And I just feel like it's so overlooked.
You're completely right. And I think Jesse realized that really quickly with me. If I know why someone wants to do something, I will throw everything I have into it.
Right.
And that's what I did with Pickett Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it shows me your passion. It shows me what you care about. And I want to help people with what they care about. That's it. Plain and simple. Yeah.
Well, and perspective is something I never noticed, but in, I guess, kind of like an exit interview, which, it ends up just being a never ending coffee date with my admin because I just love her, is she said, something that owners don't realize is we have all of the tough parts, right? Like the negotiation and stuff, of course, is usually fairly draining, even if you enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But sorry, my screen went crazy. But we also get all the good parts too, like the look on their face when they find the perfect home, or handing them their keys and they burst into tears, and the big hugs and the thank you so much, and dropping off champagne after closing, and then admin just get to click the X on the upper corner of the file and
you're right,
move on. So it was so interesting to me that she had that perspective, because it never occurred to me. Well, of course you're happy for them, but you don't get the hugs and the champagne and the smiles and stuff. And I could see how, without that this particular industry would become very draining very quickly. It's very high emotion, very high stress for a lot of people. And so your admin sitting there dealing with that, and dealing with you as an owner, going through that, kind of roller coaster throughout the day, and then there's no hugs or champagne. So
that sounds like a website or a blog or something.
Yeah, but that could go bad quickly. Hugs and champagne could. It sounds innocent at first, but I don't know. Let's leave that one there for a little while. But I am super curious. How did you stumble across the name for your business?
Did you listen to the podcast episode with Enmay Mangles?
Yes.
Okay. So Enmay has become an absolute mentor of mine. I go see at least every 6 months, and now with my business, I'll probably go quarterly. And so talks a lot about mindset and how you say things. And so rather than saying, "Oh, this bugs me so much," or "this, that, I hate this," you start saying this phrase: "I love it when I make this much money a month. I love it when I find that I love it." And all of a sudden, you're putting a different energy out, and you're also training your mind how to talk in a different way. And so I was at my desk and I was looking at GoDaddy.com, and I was throwing out a couple different ideas because I thought it was going to be something like BU movement. And then I walked to my wall in my bedroom, and I looked up and I said, "Oh my God, I bet I love it when is not taken." And it wasn't. I love it when.com. So it just felt right, and it felt like something I could talk about.
Yeah. That's incredible. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why are you so sad? Why are you so sad?
That headband.
I'm sure having her as a mentor is so incredible in addition to what you've, learned already just from working. Oh, we might be melting down.
That's okay.
We might be melting down. But I know having NMA is huge, and that's another reason why you being a coach is such an incredible thing to me. Is it's not just Margaret, that they're getting. It's and I've watched you. Excuse me, mommy puts that cute bow on your head for a reason. I've watched you when you don't have the answer. You never sell yourself out of it, right? Like, oh, well, if you just do this and that, that's a great question. Let me get back to you on that. And I think that's so invaluable. It's for you to have that kind of tribe behind you.
Oh yeah, completely. Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah, she's tired. This is my new assistant. My poor clients, they didn't know they paid for 2 realtors when they hired just one. Lucky them.
Oh my gosh. So before I sign off of Facebook, I'll check and see if we have
any questions.
Yeah. Oh,
and
Hope commented and said she felt totally and completely listened to, and she had several solutions.
Oh.
I gave her some people to reach out to.
Oh, good.
Okay, good. No questions.
Millie's very impressed by you also. Yeah, it's been a journey adjusting. I'm sure everyone in the country can relate to that right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me. I'll stop the Facebook.
Yeah.
So we can chat for a minute, but thank you. If you guys have any referrals for Reno, Nevada, think of Elizabeth. I'll put her contact information in the comments. All right.
Thank you.